Hello everyone, how are you doing today? So today we are going to learn about area, and to start off we're just going to remind each other of what we learned in grade 6. The shape that's showing on the video is a rectangle, and as we learned in grade 6, the area of a rectangle is length times width, where length is the longer side and width is the shorter side as shown in this diagram. This is the length and this is the width. So when you want to find the area of a rectangle, you say length times width. This is also another reminder of what we learned in grade 6. To find the area of a triangle, it's base times height over 2. In this diagram, our base is shown by B and our height is H. So to find the area of a triangle is base times height over 2. I'm going to show these how to use these formulas with some examples. So here we have a rectangle with a length of 5 centimeters and a width of 2 centimeters. So using the formulas that we saw from the last page, its area is equal to 5 centimeters times 2 centimeters. That will give us 10 square centimeters. You must always remember to include the units, and the units of area are always squared. So if you are using meters, you get square meters. If you are using centimeters, for example, in this case, you get square centimeters. So our answer becomes 10 square centimeters. I'm also going to illustrate the area of a triangle. We said that the area of a triangle is base times height over 2. We have our triangle in this diagram, which has a base of 10 meters and a height of 5 meters. To find the area, we say base, which is 10, times height, which is 5, and then you divide by 2. 10 times 5 is 50. 50 divided by 2 will give you 25. And as always, do not forget to include the units. In this example, we were using meters, so our answer will be 25 meters squared. If you leave out the units, your answer will be wrong. I'm going to take you through another example. And in this example that we are seeing that our shape, we do not have a formula for working out the area of this shape as it is. But we see that we can divide this shape into many small shapes, which we know the formulas for. For example, we can divide it using this line, and then we'll get a rectangle on the top and 2 triangles at the bottom, is what I did here. So you see, if you divide your shape, you will have a rectangle and 2 triangles. You know the formula of finding the area of a rectangle from the previous pages, which is length times width. And you also know the formula to find the area of a triangle, which is base times height over 2. Now we are going to go through this example together and see how we are going to solve it. So we see that this will be the length of our rectangle. We are given it already as 10 centimeters. And then this will be the width of our rectangle, because it's the same from here up to there and from here up to there. That will mean that the width of our rectangle is 4 centimeters as shown here. That means we can find the area of our rectangle as saying 10 times 4, length times width, 10 times 4. And then we also want to find the area of these triangles, because the aim of this question is for us to find the total area of this shape. So if we find the area of the rectangle, we find the area of the triangle B and the triangle C, you will be able to find the total area by adding the three of them. And these names A, B, and C, you can just decide them on your own. These are the names that you give them so that you don't get confused. I've just decided to name mine A, B, and C. So we now want to find, we have found the length of the rectangle, we have found the width of the rectangle. That means we can find the area of A. We now want to find the area of B. We know that the length from this point to that point is 10 centimeters. But since these two are the same, is the same distance from here to there and from here to there, so that means we are dividing 10 by 2 to give us 5 from this point to that point, which is the height of our triangle B. Our base, we know that from this point to this point on the shape, it's 10 centimeters as shown here. So for us to find the length from this point to that point, we are going to say 10 minus 4, and we get 6, which is the base of our triangle. And if you look closely, you're going to see that shape B and shape C are the same, as they have the same dimensions. They are two equal triangles. Now we have found the length and the width of the rectangle. We have also found the height and the base of the triangles. Now we can use the formulas that we learned to find the areas of these shapes. After we find the individual areas, we are going to add them, and then we'll find the total area of this shape. So the area of our rectangle A is 10 times 4, length times width, we are going to get 40 square centimeters. The area of our triangle B, we are going to use base, which is 6, times height, which is 5, and then we divide by 2. 5 times 6 is 30. 30 divided by 2 will give us 15. And always include your units, 15 square centimeters. We have seen that triangle C and triangle B are the same shape, triangle B and triangle C. That means they will have the same area. So that means the area of C will be equal to the area of B, which is 15. So to find the total area of the shape, we are going to add all the areas, 40 plus 15 plus 15. This will give us a total area of 70 for the whole shape, 70 square centimeters. Do not leave out the units. Now, we are going to move on to the last part of our video. As I said from the last examples, area can be measured in square centimeters, square meters, or square kilometers, which are units for distance. But there are also some other units that can be used when we have very big areas. These are called, we have airs, we have hectares, and you must remember these so that you may be able to convert from one unit to another. You must remember that 100 square meters is equal to 1 air, and that 10,000 square meters is equal to 1 hectare, and 1 hectare will be equal to 100 airs. You can write these down in your notebooks so that you can remember them. I'm going to show you the last example on area. So using what we have learned under the topic area, we can be asked story questions. This is an example of a story question. It says, Mr. Tar's garden is 10 acres. That's the area. Mr. Joe's garden is a rectangle of length 35 meters and width 30 meters. Which garden is bigger? And B says, by how much? So for us to find which garden is bigger, we are going to compare their areas. But the first area is given in acres, and the second is given in square meters. So we first have to convert the acres into square meters so that we can compare the two. We know from the conversion that I gave you previously that 100 square meters is equal to 1 acre. We have been told that Mr. Tar's garden is 10 acres. That means 10 acres will give us more than 100 square meters, since 10 is larger than 1. So to find the area in meters, in square meters, we are going to multiply 10 by 100 to give us 1000 square meters. So Mr. Tar's garden is 1000 square meters. We have been told that Mr. Joe's garden is a rectangle of 35 meters length and 30 meters width. So to find the area of a rectangle, it's length 35 times width 30 to give us 1050 square meters. The question was, which garden is bigger? 1050 is bigger than 1000 square meters. That means Mr. Joe's garden is bigger than Mr. Tar's. The second question says, by how much is it bigger? So by how much, it means what is the difference between the two areas. So to find the difference, you just say 1050 minus 1000 to give you 50. That means the difference between the two areas is 50 square meters. So this is the end of our video on area. Go into your textbooks and look for questions and start applying what you have learned in this video.